All right. Greetings, Grand Rising. Welcome, everyone. You're tuned in to the Peak Wellness Hour, brought to you by Peak Home Care Associates, located in Noblesville, Indiana, servicing the greater central parts of Indiana. Grand Rising to you, Queen Kathy. Shout out to Queen Kathy, now the Empires of Akibalon, and everyone. Queen Edith is here. She is occupied, taking care of business, so she's watching. So, Grand Rising Queen. Um, so I'm solo today. Okay, so welcome everyone. It's the 1st of June. It is the first Saturday of June. So I'm really excited to be here to have this conversation with you all. Today we are talking about what are we talking about? Global, what is it? Global Day of Parents. Okay. So I find things to talk about. I go to nationaltoday.com, and that link is in the chat if you are on YouTube or Facebook. I'm also streaming on stereo because I don't like to talk to my spot by myself. So I might have some comments if anyone's listening on stereo, which is a mobile app. So sharing good information today about Global Parents Day. Okay. Global Day of Parents. Yes, time is, it's flying. June is here. It's almost Christmas, right? So I'm going to look at this article. And so if I'm looking around, I'm sitting here. Actually, I'm going to put this banner up so you all can not look at my face looking down while I am sharing some things. So give me just a second. We're going to talk about this because, as you all know, Mother's Day just passed, right? And Mother's Day is every day. Um, Let me copy this link. Um, and then we have Father's Day coming up, right? So, lot to celebrate with the Global Day of Parents. This is where it's a UN, I think, recognized holiday. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit from nationaltoday.com. All right, Christmas in July, isn't that right? So I'm going to read a little bit from nationaltoday.com. Give me just a second. I'm sharing some things really quickly so I can get everybody here and listening. So give me just a second. Hope everyone's had a great week. I know I've been busy. I know everybody's been busy, right? So we're talking about this because, like I said, we just had Mother's Day pass. We've got Father's Day coming up, and a lot of times with these holidays, especially Mother's Day, we spend a lot of times focusing on other, our our mothers and our fathers, right? Our parents, right? Not just our parents, those that are parental to us, our elders, those that make a difference in our lives. So a lot of times for me, celebrating Mother's Day, it's never about me. I'm focusing on other mothers, right? A lot of us do that, right? So today we are going to focus on um, parents and not parenting because there's a difference. And give me just a second. I'll come back on camera in just a second. I just want to share this a couple more times. And again, I just don't want to be looking down and you all looking at the top of my head. So give me just a second. Um, we want to talk about parents. A lot of us are parents, right? We want to talk about that because parenting means raising up your children, right? Raising up children, um, upbringing children, right? So a lot of us have adult children, so we're not necessarily raising our children, but a lot of us are. We're raising adult children, aren't we? It's crazy. So we're going to talk about that. Grand Rising, Queen Aunt Betty, thank you for joining in. So we're going to talk about that for just a second. And we want to acknowledge ourselves as parents. And of course, this is the Peak Wellness Hour. So with us being caregivers and whatnot, we're going to look at caregiving, right? Those that are taking care of our senior parents. Um, and what that looks like still being a parent, right? A lot of us, I know a lot of people that have challenges that I know a lot of people that have senior parents that they're taking care of, and they have children, that adult children that are dealing with things that are maybe have a disability perhaps. um and so it's a challenge, you know. So we're going to talk about those things. Again, let me get back on camera. Let me take this off. I'm going to read from nationaltoday.com. Please like and share. So I was going to share this on my screen, and what I'm going to do is I'll share it anyways. And if you are on YouTube, you can always go back and watch this on the screen, and you can see this for yourself. I want to share. Well, I'll wait for just a second. I do want to share something with you guys. Okay, so a little history behind this. Hang on, I'm reading. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm scrolling through this article. Okay, so it says here. Hang on, I just want to make sure I'm reading the right thing. It says it goes both ways is what it starts out. I'm not going to read the first part of that. With parents also recognizing that they have a primary responsibility towards their offspring and the importance of their roles in the development of their children. It is essential for a child to grow up in a healthy environment with healthy boundaries, and parents are the best role models for that. At least we should be. Studies show that trauma and emotional wounds sustained by a child greatly hinders their development and outlook on life. And we are an overall barrier to achieving an overall barrier, to achieving the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. That's where this comes from, the UN. And that goes for everywhere. It may not seem much as face value, but parenting has an impact on economic prosperity and social development. Why am I sharing this? Because again, a lot of us are taking care of our senior loved ones, right? Even grandparents, you know, aunts, uncles, things like that. And a lot of us, caregiving is a challenge. Okay, parenting is a challenge. Caregiving is a challenge. And so we look at this, and we have to have a balance. Okay, we have to realize that a lot of times there is trauma that we have dealt with, and there are unhealthy boundaries in families that prevent us from being good caregivers, good providers, good stewards. Okay, and that goes with parenting as well. So again, we want to honor parents today, and I wanted to show you all something really interesting. Read these comments. Good morning, Queen Mother. Good morning. Good morning. Speaking of awesome parents. So I want to show you all something. I'm going to share this on my screen, and you might not be able to see it, but I want to share it anyways, because I think it's very important. Grand Rising, Mr. Butler, to you on stereo. Okay, so I'm going to share this. And again, if you go back and look on the Peak Homecare Associates website or my website, or my YouTube pages, you can see this, okay? So let me see. Okay, so this is something interesting I want to show you all. I'm sorry you can't see it the way I want you to. This says Global Day of Parents by numbers. Okay, so I'm going to read this. It says 5 million is the number of households run by children. 5 million number of households run by children. 5 to 6 million is the number of older adults, parents, living in households run by adult children. Just take a breath on that. 25% is the percentage of baby boomers financially supporting their aging parents. 20% is the percentage of millennials who are financially responsible. Only 20% of millennials. 58% is the percentage of children who help out aging parents. 58%. Now, Queen Edith will tell you she is from Ghana, and that culture is totally different than the United States, where there is an honor in taking care of our elders, right, and paying it forward, right? So 58%. 58% is the percentage of adult children with at least one 65-year-old parent who have provided a form of sweat equity for them by running errands, doing housework, or making home repairs. 4.8 million is the number of preschool children. This is what I want you all to pay attention to. These last two numbers. 4.8 is the number of preschool children in America who are cared for by a grandparent. That is a big number. Maybe that's why 5 million households are run by children, right? And then 23.7% is the percentage of grandparents who take care of children under the age of 5. Again, why are we talking about this and why is this important? I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Give me just a second. Why is this important? Because we have a lot of grandparents that are raising children, their grandchildren. Because parenting is difficult and things happen, right? But there is a problem with the way family structure is happening right now. That's why when we have these conversations here, Queen Eve said parenting is a huge responsibility. Right. Society at large is impacted. That's right. So we're talking about the impacts with economic factors and social factors. We're looking at issues where we're missing gaps, and it's a generational thing, and it's not a bad thing. It's not pointing fingers. But when we do know better, we should do better, right? So there's no need to point fingers, especially in this day and age. Okay, there's too much technology. There's too many opportunities for us not to grow and learn from not our parents' mistakes, but learn from life and learn from experience and learn from things that someone else didn't know and pay it forward. Right. So a lot of us are adults that have grandchildren. A lot of us are adults that don't have small children. But are we having these conversations with our adult children that have our grandchildren, that have our legacies, right? That have our futures, right? Are we having these conversations? That's why this conversation is important. Because when we look at home care, again, which is what Peak Home Care Associates does, when we look at home care, we get so, again, it's so overwhelming. It can be overwhelming to try to manage multiple households, whether it's your household and then your parents' house, it can be very challenging. Okay. But are we setting ourselves up for not having to go through those same things, not having to struggle? There's a lot of, let me show you something. Let me ask you all a question. I'm gonna read this real quick. Now we are parenting and taking care of our adult children. Lots of pressure on the baby boomer generation. Let me tell you about that. Again, parenting by definition is raising up your children, bringing up your children. So if our children will always be our children, but they're not adolescents anymore. Okay. And that's the problem. We continue to parent our children as though they're children because we've learned more. That's the beauty of grandparents, right? We learn more and we get to enhance our skills and it's not a do-over. We just get to enhance our skills as grandparents, and just try to pay it forward, just from learning, right? So the fact that we continue to parent adult children, a lot of times because we have this, shame or guilt or, I dropped the ball or, I didn't make the mark or whatever it is. My husband and I have this conversation a lot, where I have an adult child at home, one of my children that is an adult still lives at home, Okay, and we don't believe in putting our children out because they're 18. You have to raise them right so they are able to get out on their own and they don't make mistakes. And so sometimes it takes a little longer, right? But all because you didn't do things a certain way with them growing up doesn't mean that you don't correct the behavior um, and have a conversation in the now. Does that make sense? I'm going to see something really quickly. Um, I'm sorry, I want to see something. Um, okay. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you don't correct the behavior, and that's what a lot of times that's what we do. We have this mindset where they don't know any better, so we just let our children run amok, and it's actually harmful to society. There's no accountability, right? So we have to correct that, okay? And we have to hold our children, our adult children, accountable. On the flip side of that, I want to say that it is a fine opportunity as parents for us to be able to live our lives as parents and still have a balance and be involved in our children's lives, be involved in our parents' lives, our grandparents' lives. Queen Kathy says, my daughter came back home. I love it. And she does too. She's helping out and saving money. See, that's the difference. So what do you all think? That's the difference where, and Kathy and I, we talk about this, United Empires of Akivalon, we talk about this, buying land, right? That's a big thing. As we get older, do you want a big house that has stairs? Do you want, we don't think about these things as far as planning. I think it's awesome to have family close by. That is so important. I think for me, I know my goal is to buy land and have enough land to where, you have, you can build on it to where you have your family there, to where you don't need, senior care facilities. You're building up morals and ethics and all those things. So I think that's awesome. That's super awesome. And it is a difference when your children are helping out, when they're responsible and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that we know that they're safe is awesome. But again, we want to teach them responsibility, um, and have a balance in that. Queen Eva says, not to, is it possible for them not to make mistakes? Maybe we should allow them to make their own mistakes so that they can learn, grow, mature. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that comes in where there's defiance, right? Where I'm trying to tell you something, you don't want to listen. If you want to bump your head, I can't bump my head with you. I think I'm frozen. I don't know if y'all can see me. I think I'm frozen. Let me see if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Because I believe I am frozen. Give me just a second. Let me see. Let me test this. Hang on. Hey, baby. I don't know if y'all can see me. I think I'm frozen. Let me see if you can hear me. Okay, you guys can hear me. I'm just frozen. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so I'm just frozen. Thank you, babe. Give me a second. I'm talking to my king. Something happened. I got frozen. So, anyways, the screen is not working, but you all can hear me. So I will just put this up in the meantime. And I lost my train of thought. I'm talking to my king. Thank you, babe. My king's about to go to breakfast. So yeah, okay, that's what we're saying. So letting them bump their heads. Yeah, absolutely. I think that we definitely want to, um, guide them the best we can. Says I must say that I wouldn't put my child at 18. I wouldn't. Okay, she's saying I wouldn't put my child at 18. Absolutely not. That again, that is an Americanized perspective. I don't know who does that, especially when you haven't prepped your children for success. Okay, so I think that's wild. And again, accountability, you know, and just learning from those things. On the flip side, I think it's important for us to have a balance, like I was saying, and be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. I think it's important for us to think now. I don't care how old we are, it's never too late. I think it's important for us to think about our future and where, how we want that to look, where we want to be, and set ourselves up for success, for our future, right? So, yeah, I love parenting. It's a joy, and it sucks to see generational issues affect how we parent. I feel like we don't give leeway, we don't give grace and mercy. Parenting is a challenge. It's a difficult thing. I don't think there's anything more challenging in the world than parenting. So when if we're adults that are taking care of our adult parents, in facilities, maybe you need home care, things like that. We get frustrated because we feel like, now we have our own family, all these different things, but it really is a blessing to be able to pay it forward to our seniors, to our legacies, to our elders. It's super important. And so we have to find a balance with that. And a lot of times with the baby boomers, they don't, I'm coming to find the baby boomers don't have financial plans set up. A lot of them actually don't have living wills and whatnot. And those are conversations that need to be had. You need to be talking to your senior loved ones and asking them what's going on. A lot of people, especially baby boomers, are so private with their finances and everything. But it's a conversation to have. Where are your important documents? Do you have, what are your, long-term arrangements, however you want to put that, whatever that means, to the extent, what does that look like? We need to have those conversations. And on the flip side, we need to be able to set that up for ourselves. We need to be thinking about what retirement looks like for us. I'm sorry, I've got an echo. I'm sorry, I got an echo. We have to find a balance with that. I think it's important, with the 401k. My husband and I were talking about that the other day. 401ks, jobs are just weird these days, so we want to make sure that we're not putting all our eggs in one basket, right? That we're diversifying what's going on. Again, that we're setting ourselves up. I know, let me show you. Let me ask you guys a question. So I'm going to ask you guys really quickly. If there's a 60-year-old individual, okay, a 60-year-old senior that needs to go to long-term care, how much do you think that would cost a month? So the senior, their house is paid off. Okay, their house is paid off. Doesn't have a lot of bills, so you pay property taxes. How much do you think it would cost to go to a senior facility a month? Even if they have an apartment, even if they live in an independent senior apartment, how much do you think it would cost a month? Anybody want to put anything in the chat? Take a guess, a gander. Anybody? No? Okay. Let me tell you the facilities I've worked at. Okay. I was talking to my husband about this last night. I know ours was like around about $5,500 a month. The ones, some of them are like, he was talking about $7,800 a month in a facility. And we're talking about a room. It's not an apartment. It's not a studio. It's a room where it's a room. So if that's the case, if someone needs to go to a facility at age 60, how much money do you think they would need to survive? At let's say at $6,000 a month, how much do you think would be needed to survive living in a senior facility? Well, let me tell you this. So you got a 60-year-old, okay? Let's say you have $100,000 in the bank, okay? So I'm married. My spouse goes to a facility. We have $100,000 in the bank and we're investing. So we're growing money, right? But now the income is cut because now my spouse is not working and now my spouse has to go to a senior facility. We have $100,000 in the bank. If I'm paying $6,000 a month, that means that that's going to cover his costs for 16 years. Cool, right? But I also have mortgage. I also have bills. If my spouse needs something like additional medical care, if my spouse needs wound care or a special diet, now we're talking about more money. So $100,000 in the bank is not going to get you where you need to be. It's going to get you maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 years in a facility. Okay? On top of your own bills. You got to think about if something happens to you too. You still have to keep building your wealth because if something happens to you, right? This is how we have to think when we're talking about parenting, when we're talking about senior parents, when we're talking about us taking care of our elders, not just parents, our elders, right? I was at my grandmother's house yesterday. She asked for she called me and she always said we live like in walking distance. So she asked me for Church's chicken and I went there. I don't eat churches. I don't like churches. That's what she wanted. And I don't like to argue with my elders, But I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't want to get her this chicken. I told her on the phone, I said, if you want something different, Grandma, I said, just tell me. I said, all because it's close and it's the closest thing. You don't have to eat this. And she it's fine. It's fine. I said, well, she said, they might be closed. Now here it is like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Why would Church's chicken be closed? Because it's a raggedy Church's chicken. That's why. So no, I don't want to go there. And everything told me. So my husband and I were driving. We get there and we're in the line. We're in the drive-thru and it says it says on the drive-thru menu, it says pull around. I looked at him. I was like, let's go. So she was like, I asked her if you don't get Church's, what would you like? She says, well, Kentucky Fried Chicken or Popeyes. I'm like, everything that I just don't want to get you. It's not healthy, And so I went ahead and did it. I don't eat church. I don't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken because they have clone chicken. So I've heard allegedly. So I don't want that. But I'm sure a lot of them do, right? So whatever. That's a different story, right? So anyways, so I went ahead and got the Church's. Like I told her, like, you can have whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna feed my grandma that trash because I don't eat it. That was important to me. But it was nothing. And like I got the money. I don't want your money. I love my seniors. I don't want your money. Isn't it an honor to be able to say that you can help your grandparents? I am so blessed. I come from a family. At once we had 5 generations. It was my children, myself, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. 5 generations living and thriving. Do you know the blessing in that? Do you know the self-disappointment and me not taking advantage of asking important questions, diving deeper into things with my grandparents? And I'm even more blessed. I have been blessed to have 3 grandmothers. Still have 1 living. I am highly, highly favored, highly blessed. And that's something to value. So if they need something, I'll be Johnny on the spot for my grandmother, and then on the flip side, she has a big responsibility. She's always been a mother. She's always been parenting. She's always been parenting. It is a blessing, Queen. Yes. She's always been parenting. And I remember growing up, I said, I told my Aunt Betty, who's here, I told her all the time, and I told my mom, I told everybody, my grandparents like I watch them give. They've always, again, been parenting. I love that, Queen Kathy. Thank you. And I said to myself, I watched them, and I said, I will never. And then I had to change it. I don't ever want to raise somebody else's children. Now, if y'all know me, y'all know I love the children. I love kids. If I'm raising your children, you better be far, far away. Okay? Like, period, point blank. But I've watched them, and there's nothing, I'm not saying anything bad about that at all. So much honor and respect. But watching them go through, not knowing their whole story and everything, why they've always been parents to grown children and their children and their children. It was enough for me to have to do things differently, to where I don't want to be in that position. Not saying it would never happen. Who would think that? But we, those things where we don't look at our elders like they're, they've made mistakes, like they're like, it's just life, and we do the best we can. And that is to be respected. A lot of people are not privileged to even understand the challenges of our parents' journeys and their experiences, right? And that is so important. So very important. We, a lot of times, I know for me, my children are like me. They are so much like me, all of them. And I always had this expectation, especially when they were in school, because they were smart, they didn't have to try. And my thing was, when they started slacking and not doing the right thing, I'm like, better, you're smarter than this, all these different things. But what happened was, I knew they knew better. I knew that they were capable, right? But, and, like I said, I'm proud of you, good job, but did I share with them, well, I love math too. I like, reading too. I was great at this. They don't realize where they come from. A lot of our children, they don't realize the greatness in us. We instruct them and direct them, but we don't share with them our own journeys, and how we are highly a product of nature versus nurture, right? Hello, Queen Essie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. So it's so important to have a balance with that. I want to play you all something really quickly. I want to play this motivational thing. I want you all to hear this really quickly, because it blessed me this morning and it was super awesome. So give me just a second. I just want to encourage you all today. So we're going to listen to this really quickly. You know what, Queen? All the comments, Queen Edith, I'm putting all of them up so you can see everybody's comments. So if they're commenting, you're seeing it. You all, Queen Edith is out of the digital building today, taking care of business. So we wish her well. But yes, I'm showing all the comments, and we're on stereo also. So if you listen to stereo, if you go to the Peak Wellness Hour on YouTube, you can watch this on YouTube. So, and I'll try to put this in the link for you guys if I can. So yeah, I'm gonna play this really quickly. It's a 5-minute motivational speech, and it's titled "Going Through Hell," but it's really positive. Put a one in the chat if you can hear it good. Put a 2 in the chat if you cannot. Play this really quick. And you guys grab a pen and paper because it's going to be really good. It's so positive. So let me move this around. Give me just a second. Okay. Here we go. Oh, hold on. They always want to give you an ad. Okay. Here we go. Let's listen to this.
I want to encourage somebody out there who's thinking about quitting. You're thinking about giving up. This is for you.
You're going through a tough time.
Maybe you're walking through real depression. Maybe you are in a valley today that you've experienced the worst failure of your life and you are on the verge of giving up. Maybe you're here today and your marriage is on the rocks. Maybe you're here today and you're dealing with anxiety on a daily basis. You know what it's like to be in a lonely, dark place. You know what it's like to want to quit. You know what it's like when the pressure's overwhelming, when people expect your best, but you're at your worst. That is a moment of choice. That is a moment of decision. What will your response be? Are you going to sit back or are you going to step up? Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay in it. Stay focused. Adversity creates the perfect moment for audacity. It's in your adversity. The thing that comes out of you is what defines you. When life is squeezing you and pressure is on you, what's really inside of you? When life knocks on the door, when you go through some stuff, when you get a bad diagnosis, that's when you have to pull on your faith. That's when you have to be resilient. If it feels kind of dark all around you right now, I want to remind you, it is always the darkest before dawn. And dawn is coming. You've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back. You can decide that you're going to stand up to life. You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas. Unquestionably, you've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. It's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen, but you've got to keep moving and keep plugging away. If people ask you, say, how you doing? Even if you're having some difficult times, say, I'm blessed and highly favored. Because anytime you wake up and you don't have a white chalk outline around your body, it's a great day. And so I say to you, it's possible you can live your dream if it's becoming a diamond, if it's having more, if it's achieving more, if it's being a better father, being a better mother, whatever it is, overcoming addiction, changing our society. It's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to, and you work with the system, that you work with people, that you give support, and that you be there for them, that you have the vision and never give it up, that you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again, and that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen, and that it's hard, easy is not an option, and when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I win.
Woo! How powerful was that? Oh my gosh. I listened to that like 5 times this morning. It just did something to me. So powerful. So yes, as parents, take joy and pride in parenting, take joy and pride in our elders, our seniors, and then our legacies. Our children are our legacies. Right? These bad kids, these unruly kids, no, they're children and they're a product of their society. We are a product of our society. Our parents, our elders are a product of their society. Okay. What do you all think? They have a conversation about, your parents being your friend or whatnot. And I think I've seen as we get older, and especially as our elders get into their senior years, I think there becomes the concept of a friendship kind of relationship with our parents. What do you all think like that? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, very powerful it was. I'm gonna play it again at the end because I loved it. What do you all think about that? Because I know I don't think I'll ever be friends with my children. I don't want to look at it like that. But with my mother, she's my person, she's my mother, and we have a close relationship, like better than a friend. I guess for me, my mother is so important. She can't be my friend because she's my mother. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? I mean, to each his own. I'm just wondering. Like I said, I think as we get older, we have different relationships and different respects, and the roles change, but they don't change. Right, as they become older, responsible, maybe, yeah, not necessarily friends. I don't know. Like, I know with my mother and my grandma, like things, my father and my grandmother, they did things, they hung out, like, and so I could see that. I don't know. I guess, I mean, my mom is my friend, but she's my mom. And that's like the best thing. You can have a bunch of friends. Your mom is your mom. So I don't know. That's just my thought on that. Let me see if I want to read anything else from Global Today. Again, that link is at the very top if you guys want to look at that on nationaltoday.com. What else was on here? Okay, I want to read a couple things. 5 special facts about a parent-child relationship. Again, this is on nationaltoday.com. Says, 1, it is not voluntary. As with all ties of blood, the parent-child relationship is a special, permanent one that bears the test of time. That's why I think it's important for us to heal, especially from childhood trauma, especially when, there's a lack of communication, a lack of understanding between, with our parents and their experiences. I think that's important. You only get one set of parents, by birth, right? um the most interactions, parents and children interact more with each other than with anyone else in any other relationship, be it sibling or a friend. Number 3 is your mom was right. As much as we deny it, our parents really do know what is best for us, as they have more experience and all of us and all of us its struggles. I don't and all of its struggles. Excuse me. Okay. Have more experience in life and all of its struggles. Isn't that the truth? How many of us are adults now and we think to ourselves, yes, please share, please share. Um, let me I'm going to share these comments really quickly as I'm speaking. How many of us as adults now, we think back and we're like, you know what, mom was right. Mom was right. Dad was right. Grandma was right, Um, and then we have our own children. We find ourselves doing things like our parents, right? Like I remember when I was younger, my mom used to say, and I still joke about it now, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'd be looking like, why don't you just take a nap? What you tired from? But now I'm working all the time. I've got a household, I got responsibilities. If I don't tell you I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, okay, I understand it now. It makes sense. And now we look at our children, we're like, why don't you listen? You're gonna learn the hard way, like we talked about earlier. Um, and we do. I'm gonna play this comment on stereo really quickly. Give me just a second. This is from Marcus Warren. I'm gonna play this. Thank you for the interaction.
Hey, what's going on, young ladies? Your man Marcus Warren, let it perform. Been loving music ever since I was born. Marvel 23 Fake Jam. I'm checking the topic out, and that's what's up. Prime Day, Global Prime Day.
Okay, so if you all listen on stereo, you can go over to Peak Homecare. What is it? Peak Homecare Associates on YouTube, and we're live on YouTube and Facebook as well. And you can go to Peak Homecare Associates on Facebook. We're live. So yeah, there's been plenty of times where that's happened. So what's the next one? The pains of growing. It is a fact that children will eventually grow up into adults and have their own lives and families, but the bond with their parents will remain forever, and it is timeless. It is. I know. I would do anything for my parents. I would. My grandparents. I would. It's just, we only have them for so long, and it's just so priceless. It really is. And then the last one is you will channel your parents. Like I just said, whether it is genetic or just the patterns of behavior you picked up from them, you will one day walk and talk like your parents and probably adopt a few annoying habits of theirs that you swore you never would. Right. To this day, I can still tell when my mom is mad. She does this little thing with her face. She's like when her little eyebrow goes up and she sucks in her jaw, like I know, like something's about to pop off, you know. And I had that same mannerism. When people look at me when my eyebrow goes up, it's like, oh man, yeah, you know. So it's super interesting to see the dynamics of family and parenthood. Um, Global Day of Parents is important. I'm still reading from nationaltoday.com. It reminds us to respect others. One of the first things we're taught as children is to respect others. That's why I understand what's going on with this world today, especially our elders, right? It says, even though for some reason many parents don't like being referred to as elders. Again, that's why you can't be friends with your children that are not mature. But respect isn't only for those who are older than us. Regardless of age, it's something that has to be earned. I I'm gonna touch that. I don't know if I agree with that. Let's finish reading. Our parents have supported us through the ups and downs, all while dealing with their own personal issues. Yeah, parents actually have personal lives, is what it says. Needless to say, they're deserving of some respect, right? So whatever your parents have gone through, whatever your gripe is, have a conversation, get some healing, whatever you need to do, and move on, and pay it forward in your own household, right? And encourages fathers. Here's another thing: it encourages fathers to take a more active role in parenting. Um, Let me read these comments. My mom's laughing. Says, my mother spoke a lot without her facial expressions. um, oh, awesome, awesome. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please like and share and subscribe wherever you're listening to. All these links are in the description too of how to keep up with us with Peak Homecare Associates. Okay, so it encourages fathers to take a more active role in parenting. Time and time again, research shows that children benefit from having fathers play an active role in their lives. It's easy for dads to stay out of the spotlight and let moms take over parenting duty, but today's a reminder that a little interaction can go a long way. Politics and business might not be the best topics of conversation, assuming your kids can say those words to begin with, but everyone understands a smile and a game of catch. Now that's so powerful. Again, um, Father's Day is coming up. We do not recognize our fathers like we do our mothers, especially in the Black community. So we're going to be engaging in that the month of June on all kinds of different platforms. So you all keep up with that, please. I'm going to play this last comment from Marcus on stereo before I finish this last one.
Well, the parents do play a big role. I was always saying on my podcast, one of those topics like, why do black people hate each other? And a lot of folks were saying because the parents are not raising their child to be the right way. To a certain extent, I guess, because it's an upbringing. Are they raised by the world, or are they raised by the parents?
Very good point. Thank you so much for sharing that. Again, I'm on stereo. With some engagement. So thank you so much, Marcus Warren. Yeah. So, absolutely, I certainly agree with that. A lot of times right now we're so busy. The world is raising our children. The world is dictating what we do as parents. As adult individuals. And society is a beast. The pressure is real. So it is very important to make sure we are not allowing society to raise our children. Okay. The last one is why this day is important is what we're reading from nationaltoday.com. It reinforces that supporting a household is a team game. Parenting is really a team game. Even if you are a single parent, it doesn't hurt to have some reinforcements. But To form the best team, we have to recognize that both men and women play an equal part, like Marcus just said on stereo. So whatever that helping hand, whether the helping hands are spouses, friends, or relatives, everyone has a split time between being a breadwinner and caretaker. Diaper duty is a doozy, it says, but if you get really good at rock, paper, scissors, you can avoid it most of the time. Okay, so that was cute. So you all check out nationaltoday.com. So that's a really important conversation. And I won't dive into it too deeply here on this platform with Peak Home Care Associates with the Peak Wellness Hour, but it's a conversation to have. What happened to the village? What happened to the village that helped raise the children? You know, what happened to the unity in family? What happened to taking turns going and checking on our elders? You know, and having pride in doing that, not having a problem doing that. Where is the village? No one wants, to reach out. No one wants to lend a hand. And we're looking at society and wondering why things are so unbalanced. Okay. So something to think about. So we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. I do want to play. I'm gonna end this. I really hold on. Let me see. Queen Essie, which question? Which question are you referring to? Put that in chat. I'm gonna listen to Marcus's comment again on stereo.
I raise my kids to love black people and make them recognize that we are the best people. We not niggas, thugs, pimps, hustlers, gangsters. We not none of that. We not, what I'm saying? We not murderers, killers. We are professionals, and we want to control the world and take over the world. That's how I want to raise my kids, man, to take over the world. You ain't supposed to be out here having guns in your hand, shooting black people up, shooting your own people up, and all that.
Okay, thank you for that comment. That's very true. We have to we certainly have to do our due diligence, especially in the Black community. Of course, whoever's listening, this is good information for anyone, right? But that is appropriate to be said, right? We have to do better at representing what family looks like and the importance of family. So Queen Essie was where is the village exactly? We have to get back to that. We have to get back to not judging these parents. We look on TikTok, and I can't stand it. You see 3 generations on TikTok twerking, and the oldest one is 45, and the youngest one is 12. So we got a mother, daughter, and granddaughter twerking. Like, what's wrong with that picture? What does that look like in the future? Are we looking at, again, retirement? Are we looking at college funds? Are we looking at growing businesses? Are we looking at not having to struggle so we're not in facilities that we can't pay for, having to give up all our assets, our homes, our vehicles, our wealth, because we need to be put in a facility because we don't have family support, right? Because we are lacking morals and ethics and responsibility and duty to one another, which is what family is all about. And being a parent is not just for your children. We're looking at, there are plenty of strong people that impart and impact other young adults, other people, period. There's nothing like the wisdom of an elder, right? To steer us in the right direction, to share their experiences so that we can grow and not have to learn things the hard way. So we're going to get out of here. I want you all to take some time to Call your parents, call your grandparents, call your cousins, aunts, uncles, all that good stuff, and say something pleasant. Check on them without stressing them out, okay, making them feel any kind of way. And be gentle and make sure you take care of yourself. Take some time to be a person. As a parent, even if your children are adults, take some time to be a person. We wear all these hats. Take some time for you. Whatever your name is, I'm taking some time for Angelina today. My mom says, I love it when she does it. She says, I'm taking some time for Rhonda. I'll be like, go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, Queen Mother. And you have to make it personal. I'm taking some time for me might mean I don't want to keep, charting today and I'm behind. I want to take time for Angelina. Angelina doesn't want to be a nurse today. Angelina doesn't want to parent today. Angelina wants to just sit and read a book. Angelina wants to meditate. Angelina wants to take a walk. Okay? So take some time for yourself. We're going to get ready to get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please like and share. Please subscribe in the descriptions. Those links are in the chat to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, all that good jazz. Thank you. I'm going to play this motivational thing again because I just want you to get it into your spirit. Write it down, okay? And we're going to get out of here. 5 minutes and we're out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Love you all. We'll be back again next Saturday. Sorry we missed you. Sorry we missed you last Saturday. We were both, Queen Edith and I were both very busy and just had things going on. So life is life, but we are here and we plan to be here next Saturday. So make sure you all tune in. And we appreciate it. The link is in the chat or in the description, on the page. You can see. I want to make sure I got all these messages. Okay, so peakhomecareassociates.com is the website. You can reach us at 317-863-0832. You can email us at info@peakhomecareassociates.com. We thank you so much for being here. I sincerely love you all, respect and honor you all. Thank you for your feedback and your interaction. This is possible because of you. So you all take care and have a great day. Listen to this positive motivational speech again. And if you all go to motivational, what is it called? Motivational quotes daily or something like that. This is where I'm getting this from. So let's listen one more time and you all have a great day.
I want to encourage somebody out there who's thinking about quitting, you're thinking about giving up. This is for you.
You're going through a tough time. Maybe you're walking through real depression. Maybe you are in a valley today that you've experienced the worst failure of your life and you are on the verge of giving up. Maybe you're here today and your marriage is on the rocks. Maybe you're here today and you're dealing with anxiety on a daily basis.
You know what it's like to be in a lonely, dark place. You know what it's like to want to quit. You know what it's like when the pressure's overwhelming, when people expect your best, but you're at your worst. That is a moment of choice. That is a moment of decision. What will your response be?
Are you going to sit back or are you going to step up?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay in it. Stay focused.
Adversity creates the perfect moment for audacity. It's in your adversity. The thing that comes out of you is what defines you. When life is squeezing you and pressure is on you, what's really inside of you?
When life knocks on the door, when you go through some stuff, when you get a bad diagnosis, that's when you have to pull on your faith. That's when you have to be resilient.
If it feels kind of dark all around you right now, I want to remind you, it is always the darkest before dawn. And dawn is coming.
You've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back. You can decide that you're going to stand up to life. You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas. Unquestionably, you've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. It's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen, but you've got to keep moving and keep plugging away. If people ask you, how you doing? Even if you're having some difficult times, say, I'm blessed and highly favored. Because anytime you wake up and you don't have a white chalk outline around your body, it's a great day. So I say to you, it's possible you can live your dream if it's becoming a diamond, if it's having more, if it's achieving more, if it's being a better father, being a better mother, whatever it is, overcoming addiction, changing our society. It's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to, and you work with the system, that you work with people, that you give support, and that you be there for them, that you have the vision and never give up, that you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again, and that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen, and that it's hard, easy is not an option, and when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I